I realized that God always has a plan. And most of the times that if he slows you down because he wants you to think about some things. And so I had a lot of things to think about on my way here. And I want you to dive in with me for a minute, right? Because what's the true responsibility of leadership? What does that look like? The real responsibility of leadership. So there's three tiers that we're going to tap into. One of the greatest qualities that I truly believe leadership is all about is you must be selfless. Right now, selfless it's a couple of the things that you can make fit inside of it too. Because you have to be it's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we. How do we make this happen? Right? And something happened to me early in life that made me transition into thinking as an altruistic person. I wanted to figure out, I said, what's this thing? Like, Mom, I'm trying to figure out at 10 years old. I'm like, Mom, why my father ain't around? Like, what's going on? Then Mama grabbed me one day and she says to me, she says, baby, listen, I don't have time for you to be a child. I need you to be a young man right now. My mom sat me down, I'll never forget it. She taught me how to cook, clean, braid, fold, plait, iron, wash, scrub. And I'm like, Mom, why are you teaching me all this? She said, because I need you to help me take care of your brothers and sisters. So when I started to understand that, I said, well, Mom, can I go outside and play? And then she looked at me and she said, look, don't ever leave my house. I'm like, okay, wow. What kid comes home and can't leave the house? So then I started to become a very selfless person because the only thing that mattered to me at that point in time was my brothers and sisters. Was figuring out a way. My mom worked 3 jobs. My mom was never home. My mom made it to 1985, my first football game ever, and she never made it to another one my entire career. So I became this person. I became this power that said, okay, Mama can't do it. Daddy ain't here. So it's up to me. So as a leader, very early, did I understand it then? Absolutely not. But did I understand what Mama said? Mama said, I need you not to be a kid, but to understand the roles of a young man. Our kids now
then there was a phone call. You got a phone call, right? And somebody said, hey, come and talk to us.
Yeah, I moved to Beverly Hills.
Because that's what you should do when you become successful.
Yeah,
right?
when I get there, a friend of mine said, you've got to come and tell your story to my service club. You belong to the Rotary. And he said, if I arrange this breakfast meeting, I think our luncheon meeting, he said, would you come, just do a little 30-minute talk and tell your story? And he said, we'll call it Idaho Farm Boy Makes It to Beverly Hills. I said, okay, suits me. So I did this little talk, and evidently they enjoyed it. Before the day was over, I got a couple more invitations. You got to come talk to our service club, tell that same story, share those same ideas. That started me thinking about, really becoming involved in teaching and training. I'd done a lot of training and inspiring in my own entrepreneurial organizations, but not for the public. So I started doing these little talks for service clubs, and once in a while a high school class, college class, enjoying it very much. Then one day a man said to me, I've heard your talk now 2 or 3 times, and I've got this little company going. And he said, if you would come make a presentation, I'd be happy to pay you. And I thought, incredible.
There's a job.
Yeah. Could I really share my story and get paid? He said, I'll be happy to do it.
Wow.
So I did that. Then that led to another one and another one. Then later on the idea occurred, why not have some representatives out selling tickets to come and hear a public seminar. Yeah. And we finally put that together. And that was, all those many, many years ago.
What was the culture like back then when you guys were out barnstorming America and really developing the whole personal development culture that now is so prominent in America? What was that like?
It was exciting. Of course, I gave it all away. Huh. All those speeches I did in colleges, high schools, and for service clubs and so on, that was all free. Then when somebody offered to pay me, that put a whole new look on it. And then I began this process of creating something valuable enough to where someone would buy a ticket and go and listen. And those were exciting days. The first one I did for pay, I think I had about 45 or 50 participants that bought tickets. A lot of them were friends of mine that I'm sure bought because they were friends of mine, but there were some others that legitimately bought at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. And that first public seminar for people buying tickets, I think, was 1961 or 62. Developed to where I am now, traveling the world and telling my story and still sharing ideas. But it was a fantastic time.
I got my bag and I see my auntie answer the phone. She said, Inky, it's this coach on the phone. He want to talk to you. I said, is a basketball coach? She said, no, he's a new football coach at Crim. I'm like, all right, I'll give him a couple minutes. I get on the phone with him. He said, what you up to, man? I said, nothing, heading to basketball practice. He said, oh, you had the basketball practice? I said, yeah, man. He said, you don't want to play football no more? I said, no, I'm done with football. said, I'm going to the NBA, be a point guard. He said, oh, I want you to go look on NBA rosters and see how many 5'9" point guards you see. Then he said, I want you to look on NFL rosters and tell me how many cornerbacks you see. That's 5'9", and you called me back. I went and worked out, ran a 40, did agility drills. We're walking off the field. He says to me, son, what college do you want to go to? I said, man, I just want to go D1. He said, no, you didn't hear me. What college do you want to go to? I said, man, I just want to go D1. He said, no, you didn't hear me. He said, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm willing to fight for you. Do you want it? He said, I know you're a warrior, but you got a warrior beside you. I'm willing to go just as far as you're willing to go. Do you want it? He said, or do you want to stay in that 2-bedroom home with 14 people? I just need to know, are you willing to fight for what you said you wanted? I said, I'm on board. Let's go. He said, if we go 1-9, I just need to know you're going to show up and give me everything you got. And if you show up and give me everything you got, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you everything I got. So when I got my scholarship to Tennessee, the first person I went to was my high school coach. I grabbed him, I hugged him, I kissed him and told him I loved him. Coaches at every phase of my life, I was never anything special. I was always a kid that wanted to do well. I was always a kid that tried to stay out of trouble. I was always a kid that treated people right. But at every phase of my life, I had amazing people that came in and saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself, and I knew they cared beyond anything else. In my first meeting with my host, they said, Inky, what's your plan? I said, man, I just want to come here, play about 3 years, and go to the NFL. They said, all right, that sounds cool. They said, have you ever been to a sorority party? I said, no, I've never been. They said, man, we take you to a sorority party tonight. Like, we're going to be cool, jamming. I said, cool. I said, can you take me to the Marriott? He said, yeah, I'll take you to the Marriott. Go up to the Marriott, I'm getting out of the car. I said, man, I'll catch you tomorrow. He said, man, are you sick? Like I told you, you got to go to this party. I said, no, brother, I'm not sick. I said, this is my first time being in the room with my own bed, and this is king size at that. I said, bump that sorority party.
It's easy to get discouraged and accept that it's never going to work out. But God said in Zephaniah 3, I will turn things around for my people. He's a turnaround God. He turns barren wombs into babies. He turns Red Seas into dry pathways. He turns 5 loaves and 2 fish into dinner for thousands. He turns skin filled with leprosy into skin as clear as a little baby. When thoughts tell you your situation is permanent, you'll never get out of this problem, never get well, never see your family restored, no, get ready, a turnaround is coming. God is about to turn sickness into health, turn addictions into freedom, turn lack into abundance, turn struggle into ease. You're coming in to a turnaround season. You're going to see the hand of God do things that are unusual, uncommon, out of the ordinary. This is what Zechariah said. God has turned my mountains into molehills. Mountains represent obstacles, things that look permanent, like it's immovable. Depression can be a mountain. Feels like you'll always struggle with it. A mountain can be people at work that are not for you. They have more seniority. What can you do about it? Or how about a mountain of debt, lack, can't get ahead? It's been in your family for years. This is a new day. That mountain is about to be turned to a molehill. God is about to flatten some things out.